The investiture ceremony is currently being held in Aso Villa, Abuja. In speech, the president-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu commends President Buhari for strengthening democracy in the country.
Of the honor given to me today and the magnitude of the tax that awaits. Whether you go to Dara or Nigeria or anywhere, you expect knocks on your doors. We are determined, as enumerated, on security, economy, agriculture, jobs, education, health, and power. And in all sectors, we must make headway as you've charted the course. The people deserve no less. You said so. I shall not disappoint you.
On Monday, May the 29th, Tinubu will be sworn in as the next president of Nigeria, succeeding President Muhammadu Buhari. The UN peacekeeping mission in South Sudan has warned that the situation in the country could fall apart if the war in neighboring Sudan continues. The head of United Nations peacekeeping mission, Nicholas Hayson, told newsmen in the capital, Juba, that South Sudan will unravel as a result of what is happening in Sudan, noting that the war's negative effects will be felt beyond the country. He said the disruption of South Sudan's oil pipeline to Sudan, through which the landlocked country exports all its crude oil, will have an immediate impact. He said South Sudan and its citizens' capacity to simply get by will be affected because 90% of the services and salaries all come from the oil money. The fighting between the Sudan Army and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, now on its sixth week, has displaced nearly 1 million people, according to the UN. The number of South Sudanese returnees who have fled the conflict and returned home has exceeded 70,000, according to UN MIS. The International Monetary Fund has approved a $3.5 billion loan agreement with Ivory Coast, which it says is designed to tackle financial challenges and assist economic transformation. Getting the loan in full will be contingent on the West African nation making structural changes to its economy, which is squeezed by a global downturn and the ripple effects of the war in Ukraine. In a statement, the IMF says the 40-month arrangement will help support the country's transformation towards upper middle income status over the medium term while preserving macroeconomic stability. The IMF says the loan will help the country tackle the triple shocks of the COVID pandemic, global monetary tightening, and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Bolivian leaders issued condemnations after rival lawmakers came to blows on the floor of parliament during a debate over the fate of a jailed governor described as a political prisoner by the opposition. Chamber of Deputies leader Jagis Mercado, for his part, said the brawl which happened was regrettable and an embarrassment. The lawmakers, all women, threw punches and kicks after pro-government MPs sought to snatch placards held up by opposition members with messages such as, "With political prisoners, there is no democracy." The brawl happened during a session where Minister of Government Odaudo de Castillo presented a report on the December arrest of Leo Fernando Camacho, the conservative governor of Santa Cruz region and a leading opposition figure. You are on to Global News from Adaba 88.9 FM Akure, transmitting from Ilara Moking. After the break, Russia to expel 5 Swedish diplomats. Details in the second part of the bulletin. Do join us again.
At Wexford College, we promise you a new and exciting journey to the top. Now feel the difference.
You can place your business and brand adverts on Adaba 88.9 FM online platforms, at Adaba FM TV, on YouTube, at about 88.9 FM on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, with an audience of over 60,000 people across all our social media platforms and a reach of over 315,000 overall. Call these numbers today to push your market before that audience. Kazim on 080 30414 or Hazan on 080 650 77920 or Feyi on 0814 138 8719 or Temi on 080 66 766 944. You can place your business and brand adverts on Adaba 88.9 FM online platforms, at Adaba FM TV, on YouTube.
On Adaba 88.9 FM.
Welcome back. For news update and live streaming, visit our website www.adaba889.fm or download Adaba FM app on Google Play Store. You can be part of us on our social media platforms www.facebook.com/Adaba FM 88.9 on Facebook, at Adaba 889 FM on Instagram, and Adaba FM TV on YouTube. To provide us information via email, newsroom@adaba889.fm. A noodle vendor in Vietnam who parodied one of the country's most powerful ministers has been jailed for 5.5 years for anti-state propaganda. Bui Tam Lam became famous when he posted a video in 2021 mimicking the trademark gestures of the high-end London-based restaurateur Salt Bay. A minister had been previously filmed eating a goat leaf-covered stick in a Salt Bay video, causing a scandal. The Vietnamese government is strictly intolerant of dissent. The 39-year-old's trial and sentencing in a Denjing court took just 1 day. He must serve 4 years of probation after being released. Ukraine Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba has urged African countries to end their neutral stance over Russia's invasion as he embarks on a second tour of the continent. Mr. Kuleba noted that Ukraine's relations with African countries did not receive proper attention in the country's foreign policy for years. He had talks with Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, African Union Commission Chair Moussa Faki, and Comoros President Azali Assoumani, who is the current AU chair. While the majority of countries have consistently condemned Russia's invasion during deliberations at the UN, abstentions by various African countries have sparked Western criticism. Russia says it will expel 5 Swedish diplomats in the retaliatory measure for Sweden's confrontational course in relations with Russia. Its foreign ministry said the move was in response to the expulsion of 5 diplomatic staff from Sweden last month, which it described as a hostile step. Relations between the two countries have worsened since Sweden announced its intention to join NATO last year. The head of Russia's Wagner mercenary group has announced that its forces have started withdrawing from the Ukrainian city of Bakhmut. Yevgeny Prigozhin has vowed to transfer control of the city to the Russian army by June the 1st, but Kyiv says it still controls pockets of the city. He said his forces were ready to return if the Russian regular army proved unable to manage the situation. The battle for the city has been the longest and bloodiest of the war. Wagner mercenaries have led the fighting there for the Russian side, and Mr. Prigozhin this week said that 20,000 of its fighters had died in Bakhmut. To end global news, a recap of our top stories. The President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima having conferred the highest honor in Nigeria, Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, GCFR, and Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger, GCON, respectively. The UN peacekeeping mission in South Sudan has warned that the situation in the country could fall apart if the war in neighboring Sudan continues. We also told you that Russia says it will expel 5 Swedish diplomats in a retaliatory measure for Sweden's confrontational course in relations with Russia. That's Global News is edited by Olabisi Olaniyi Oluwasegun. I am Olubumi Obajemihi. Thank you for listening. Good afternoon.